Wagwan Yawdis, it's another one for Yawdi Hair Care, and today I'll be talking to you guys about how is it that you can damage your hair, cream hair edition. If you want to know more, stay tuned. The first way in which you can damage your hair, right? So coloring, permanent color is one of the most prominent ways in which us black hair girls tend to damage our hair. We are really obsessed, or we like experimenting with different colors, different shades. Sometimes lighter is better for some of us. We like the blonde look, we like to go pink, we like all sorts of color. Now, the science behind coloring your hair is that the developer, or the hydrogen peroxide that's typically in the hair dye, is going to open up your hair cuticles and essentially remove the natural pigment from your hair, right? Now, in doing so, it literally flushes out the pigment out of your hair. Typically, it also interacts with the keratin, which I've been talking about before, the keratin in your hair, which is protein, because your hair is keratin, which is protein. Now, dyeing your hair causes you to lose keratin, which makes your hair become dry and brittle because there is no more protein left in your hair. The lighter we go, the worse it is, as I was saying before, because then you're going to need to expel more of the pigment, which runs a higher chance of you losing more protein in your hair. Way number 2 in which we can damage our hair is through heat. As a cream hair person, we tend to like our hot styling tools, I guess, because it's so convenient. So instead of having to do roller sets that we would do before, or having to wrap your hair to straighten it, those tend to take some time. So you probably don't even know what you're going to do to your hair the next morning. So just waking up on the settings, okay, I think I want straight hair this morning. So you're just gonna, grab your flat iron and whoosh, 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 grab your curling iron, whoop, whoop, whoop. You get what I'm saying? And it's faster, it's easier, but it also puts our hair at risk for heat damage, because some of these tools are not get like super hot, and it's really hard to gauge the heat. I mean, modern day, we have newer tools that are better able to do this, but time pass, or typically for us, we don't really pay attention to the tools that we're buying, so we have that issue, and they get super hot. Like, have you ever been straightening your hair or curling your hair? You have oil in there and you literally see smoke coming out of it. Like, before, that used to be like, okay, no, that is so traumatizing to me. If I'm supposed to see smoke coming off of my hair now, I think I'd probably faint, because I know exactly what is happening. Like, essentially, I'm burning my hair to nothing. And so yes, heat is, I think, a second way in which you can damage your hair if you're looking to damage your hair. But I'm actually telling you all of this, hoping that you'll pay more attention to the things that you're doing. And I recognize also that bone straight hair is something that we tend to obsess over. It's like, if your hair is not super straight, in a cream good. Like, let's be honest, that's what we would say. So this brings us into way number 3. I don't know, saying way sounds so awkward, but the third way in which you can damage your relaxed hair, your cream hair, your processed hair, is through over processing. So as I was saying before, we tend to be really obsessed with bone straight hair. Getting this bone straight hair causes more damage than good, or leads to more damage than good, or more bad than good. However the phrase is, I suck at these things. Anyways, so right, it might push us to want to get like a super relaxer instead of a regular. Like, from me, I convinced myself for some reason that my hair was like super thick, super coarse, super everything. So I needed super, like, why not? And doing or using super relaxer would normally leave me with burns. That's for one thing, like scabs on my scalp. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend like you don't know what me talk about, right? And bone straight hair. Meanwhile, it looks good. You're essentially damaging the protein in your hair. You're damaging what is your hair. Way number 4 now is that we like to, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. brain fart. Yes, with overprocessing, we typically are not so religious or dedicated in our treatment regimen. So number 4 would be a lack of a treatment regimen. So while we're overprocessing our hair and we have an obsession with bone straight hair, we typically neglect the fact that, all right, since I'm damaging my hair, I need to find some way to repair back the cells that I'm actually damaging, but we don't do that. So we don't try and get protein treatments, or if we're getting protein treatments, we get too much protein treatments and we neglect the fact that we also need moisture in our hair. Because when I had processed hair, I was continuously told, do not get your hair wet. Do not get your hair wet. We have a repulsion towards water when we are cream hair people. And even though you might not use the actual water because you don't want frizziness, you don't want your hair to not be bone straight, because if it's poofy, then it's like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, why are you processing your hair? So if you don't want to do that, you can get a water-based moisturizer. And that's going to lead me into, I guess, point 5 of 4 is that we do not pay attention to the products that we use, right? We're just going to pick up a pink lotion, because for me, pink lotion was one of the regular things. Like, once you have cream hair, you get a pink lotion. I don't even know what pink lotion was for, the compounds that were in it. I just knew that I was supposed to get pink lotion, so I got pink lotion. Or you get a hair polish. I remember they had aloe vera hair polishes, which these things technically are not doing much to your hair. And I was a very, very avid user of hair oil. Might I tell you, I thought it was actually doing justice to my hair. But now, since I've become more knowledgeable of what's happening, I'm more understanding of the fact that it's literally just sitting on your hair, weighing it down, drying it out, essentially doing the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So we use all these products and we don't even pay attention to what they're for, what they're made of. Going into point number 5, overstyling. We are big on overstyling. As a cream hair girl, for some reason, I thought that it meant that I automatically transformed into being Caucasian or something. Like, the styles that I would use basically would kind of cause me to overestimate the strength of my hair. So for instance, I used to wear my hair down a lot. Always out, always down. And I recognized that I started plateauing, shoulder length plateau. Like, I would never pass my shoulder. It was so frustrating. I don't know what was happening, but I would never pass my shoulder. Now, that I thought was actually beneficial to my hair, because I was like, okay, I'm not putting any tension on my scalp. I'm not over using heat. I'm not actually using any scrunchier to add pressure to my hair. I'm wearing it down, relatively simple styles. But however, your ends would constantly, or my ends would constantly brush on my shoulder, the clothes. So probably I'm wearing cotton or something, and it would, or not even cotton, but I don't know, linen, something, and it would snag my hair fibers and it would cause my hair to break, or it could suck out the moisture out of my hair that would eventually lead it to become brittle and dry. I had no idea this was one of the reasons why I had issues with breakage, because every relaxer, every hairstylist appointment I went to, I was told I had breakage and split ends. I was wondering how. That is how, right? The way in which you are styling your hair is how. You kept wearing your hair down, which, even though it's great and everything, your hair is not strong enough or does not have, it can't sustain continuously being let down. So that's reason number 5. Now, reason or way number 6 in which we can damage our hair is actually the tools that we're using in our hair. Now, like I told you, I thought that, catching up my hair, I was also into wearing ponytails a lot. Another reason why I would have split ends and breakage, because my hair was always touching on my shoulders. Or if I was wearing, I don't know, that fold on the bun, that thing where we fold pin with hair. Yes, that was a regular for me, which essentially the scrunchie or the hair tie that I was using would basically rest on this weak point in my hair, and then eventually it would start breaking. So guys, the tools or the little, something as simple as your scrunchie can actually be causing you to not retain length or not grow your hair, well, retain length, because your hair is growing, right? So something as simple as that. You might be using ones that are, I'm going to show you one that I'm using. It's a bit out of commission, but you guys are gonna get the point. So this, right? You see how this hair tie, I use it, but I'm not supposed to, okay? It's a do as I say, but not as I do, right? So this is an issue, because with your hair is eventually gonna get trapped into this, and then it's going to snag and pull, and it is also very absorbent. Like when I'm using it these days, I recognize that it dries out my hair really, really fast. And as a cream hair person, you're already struggling with dry hair. So yeah, something as simple as a scrunchie can cause problems. Also, brush. We are great, or we are really, 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 really obsessed with neat hair. That's what one thing I've noticed with us. We like neat hair, and this need for neat hair means that we're going to constantly be brushing and pulling and trying to get tight hair. Now, the type of brush that you're using is very important. You need to use brush that don't have small bristles. As a matter of fact, brushes overall are a damaging tool, so you need to be careful how often you use them, how you use it, and the type of brush that you're using. So like I was saying, you don't need any brush with any super fine bristles. You don't need any brush with a lot of bristles. And plastic brushes, like you need brushes that are more like, you know how your toothbrush is supposed to say, they always tell us to don't use like hard toothbrush because it's not that flexible and it's rigid. So it's the same thing. You need soft, flexible brushes for your hair. Also, you need combs that don't have the road bump. It's not a road bump, but you know, when you look between the teeth of the comb, right, you'll see normally that there is a protrusion there. Try not to get combs that have those, because then they're going to cause problems, and your hair is going to become prone to breakage. Now, point number 7, right? That's where I am. Not enough protective styling can also be a problem. So you have some of us that we wear our hair out every single day. We comb our hair every single day. New style every single day. Guys, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this is damaging to your hair. There are times when you just need to put it away, hide it, and embrace the whole horse hair them we have out there. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Right? In my family, we're typically like not so into protective styles, but we ought to, even as cream hair girls, because cream hair is weaker than natural hair. So a natural hair girl who styles her hair every day has a higher chance of length retention than somebody who has relaxed hair. Then moving into point number 8. While protective styling is good, it can also be bad, like everything, right? Paracelsus idea, I guess I could say, our philosophy for those of us who do toxicology, is that too much of that everything can be a poison. Is all based on the dosage or how much of it that we consume or take in or use. So too much protective styling can become toxic to our hair. And the way in which we protective style is also very important. I feel as if I might do a video on that, protective styling, the way you're supposed to do it, or you're supposed to take it down, things like that. Let me know if you want to see something like that. So for one, as we know, your hair is not supposed to be too tight as a protective style. Also, your hair, if it's damaged, you're not supposed to be wearing any protective styles, right? Sorry, I know they tell you that, okay, you just give it a break or whatever, but the way in which you put it in, it's gonna come out worse. Worse if you're gonna do like a crochet style or a faux locks, in which you're essentially not going to get full on, or a weave, access to your hair to moisturize it, give it all the nutrients it needs. You're just going to put it further down the road of damage. So guys, don't wear any protective styles if you know that you have damaged hair. Then the next thing with protective styling is you have super thin hair, but yet you're wearing jumbo braids. You should not be doing that, because essentially what's happening, I know I say essentially a lot, is that your hair is not enough to support the heavier hair that you're going to add on to it. So then it causes strain and tension, and then eventually you're just gonna be pulling out your hair from the follicles, with all of that strain, which nobody wants. Then moving into number 9, I guess, product ignorance. So as I was speaking before on it, I touched a little bit on it with the things that we're using, right? We might not pay attention to, with our treatment, right? We may not pay attention to the compounds that are in our products. I'm very much guilty of that, because before I was just taking it for face value. So whatever was marketed on the bottle, say, okay, anti-dandruff, whatever, I believed it. I took it and I was like, okay. But I didn't really take the time out to look at the compounds that were actually in it and what it was formulated by, because then sometimes you might actually realize that it's contradicting itself. Like, you tell me that you're going to fight breakage, but yet the very main ingredient in this is to essentially dry out my hair. Like, make it make sense. You have breakage because you have dry, brittle hair. So how is that gonna work? So we need to pay attention to that. And then point number 10. I remember when I had cream hair, I didn't know what a bonnet was. I didn't know what a satin scarf was. I didn't know what silk pillowcases were, or a satin pillowcase. All I knew about was the pantyhose or the stocking cap, just like if I wrap my hair and I want to keep it, or if I had some style I wanted to keep it. Otherwise, I would go to my bed barehead. Guys, we know we're guilty of it. It's causing problems. That's one of the ways in which you're damaging your relaxed hair. Because said dryness is already a problem for us, because we are repulsed by water. in the relaxed hair community, or we are over proteining. Like majority of the products made for relaxed hair tend to have a lot of protein in there because the idea is that once you're relaxing your hair, you are removing protein from your hair, so you need something that's going to put it back in. So it's either we're over compensating or we're under compensating, or we're just not putting in any moisture to create that protein moisture balance. So going to your bed with your hair uncovered, going to your bed on a cotton pillowcase, going to your bed on any material or fabric that's going to dry out your hair is going to cause a problem. This is one of the reasons why you're probably not retaining any length. Also, you add in the factor of friction. So you do not have that layer of slickness or smoothness. So it causes hair to rub on each other, and then there is split ends, right? Or you might be snagging your hair on your pillowcases and stuff without even noticing it, and you're essentially just tearing out your hair. So these are things that we need to be aware of. Now, I know I told you guys that I was going to give you 10 ways in which you are damaging your hair, or 10 ways in which you can damage your hair if that's something that you're interested in. I know I feel like such an evil person. So as a relaxed hair, processed hair, cream hair girl, the 11th thing that we're doing, which I think is the most important, is relaxing our hair in and of itself. The process itself is like the perfect recipe for disaster. Like this is like just cream your hair alone. That's all you need to do, from my opinion. I might be biased, but hear me out, okay? You're gonna understand where I'm coming from. So relaxers are basically disrupting your disulfide bonds in your hair. As a black hair girl, this is what gives you your curl pattern or your kinks. And essentially damaging or removing these disulfide bonds changes the original formation of your hair. It also removes protein from your hair, because the protein in your hair is what has these disulfide bonds. So, right, relaxers are essentially altering the natural shape of your hair, as we know, because you move from really, really, really tight curls to straight hair, right? So that process is already a chemical disaster. Now, after you've put in your relaxer and you're rinsing out your hair, you're using a neutralizing shampoo, conditioning, putting your little treatments, the next step is under the dryer. This is heat damage, ladies and gentlemen, right? So we move from the hood dryer, and then your hair is not gonna be as dry as it is supposed to be. So then you move into the handheld blow dryer. Now, typically blow dryers, the handheld ones, get super hot. Hood dryers, they gradually increase in temperature. However, the blow dryer is just hot. So we're moving from gradual heat. So we're moving from a chemical disruption of your hair to heat, then from gradual heat into consistent hot heat. Then after that, no, I mean, your hair is not straight enough. It doesn't look like it has been relaxed. So what do we do now? Drum roll. We get the flat iron, right? And we are going to flat iron our hair, right? And after flat ironing, right? Suppose you don't want no straight hair. You like a body, you want a curve, you kind of give it a little oomph. So we head for the curling iron. Guys, you see what I'm trying to say here? right? We head right for the curling iron. The process itself, it speaks volumes. I don't even think I need to say anything else more. So yes, guys, those are my top 10 ways in which you can damage your hair, cream hair edition with a bonus. And I hope that though I've been saying these are ways in which you can damage your hair, I hope you use them as benchmarks of ways in which you can damage your hair that you should not actually be following. Like, you should actually try to do the opposite of whatever I'm saying here. Now, we have come to the end of the video, and I just want to say that thank you. I recognize that our family is growing, and I'm really, really appreciative of that. Yawdi hair care out here. So I just want to say thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for joining the family. And if you are watching and you haven't yet been convinced to come on over on this side, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share with your friend, and let your friend share with their friend, and let's just continue growing and building while we discuss the ways in which us as Jamaicans and Caribbean folks can take better care of our hair, because as my mother always said, beauty is in the hair. So I just want to say thank you guys again. And if you have anything that you want to say, I'll be in the comment section. Hit the notification bell for the next time that I post. And go on walk good. What's soon?